Hi, everyone. My name is Tammy Berman. I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in Broward County, and this is a wonderful and esteemed colleague in our practice, Lindsey. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lindsey Webster. I'm happy to be a part of Tammy's practice. I've been in practice for about 12 years now. And one of the things that I'm truly passionate about is working with kids and families. So, with the school year kind of wrapping up, we're hoping to kind of take the time to reach out to some of our families and just kind of give them some support and some tips to think about as the school year is wrapping up.
Right. So, one of your specialties is really helping and coaching, supporting parents in helping kids, especially kids that have challenges in school. And helping them to navigate the school system. You have some really great experience and background on that, and so that was the purpose of the interest of our conversation today is to share some tips about that. So why don't you share some of your thoughts for all the parents that are listening, the colleagues that we have listening to this video, um, regarding it's for us recording this. It's May 11th right now, 2022, and we're coming towards the end of the school year. So, with that in mind, what are some of the thoughts you wanted to share about the school system and dealing with families?
So, first of all, congratulations to a lot of the parents and their families on completing the FSAs. I know everybody that's in that phase of life is pretty happy that they're over. One of the things I've kind of noticed in my practice at this point is some of the anxiety that a lot of the kids faced going into taking the FSAs and then even afterwards. So, I wanted to sort of bring that up to parents because a lot of parents I've been working with have really not been sure how to support their kids through this. They're sort of navigating hearing rumors around the school. If you don't pass the FSAs, you're going to fail third grade, or, experiencing some of the pressure that the teachers are sort of putting on the kids to need to do their best. So it leads to sort of wondering what is the parent's responsibility in supporting their kids. And one thing I would say is really just emphasizing that as their parent, you want them to try their best. That really the goal of the test is just to measure how the school is supporting them, how they're learning, and really to take the pressure off of the performance. It really is a standardized test. And this is kind of the beginning of their introduction to standardized testings, the SATs as they get older. And so, really helping them realize that it's just a test, it's not the end of the world, and kind of supporting them in that way.
Got it. And what else would you recommend in helping in supporting kids in the context of whether it be FSA or with regards to school success and stress around school?
So, I would say a lot of anxiety management techniques tend to be helpful with this particular type of setting. So, when we look at kind of anxiety specifically around school, it's a lot of focus on what they can't control, not really knowing what to anticipate. And so, the more parents can really focus on keeping a structure for their kids, making sure that they go to bed on time, focusing on making sure that they're eating healthy, and explaining to their kids, we're doing all these things so that your brain can really function at its best. And this is how we sort of help to do that. Or even talking about as they're going into the test, what are some things in your calm down kit? What are some things that help your brain remain calm? And helping, and a lot of times schools have sort of jumped on board with this, teaching breathing techniques, different anxiety management strategies for test taking. And
Mhm.
so the more informed the parents are about what the schools are trying, or even, what works best for their kid, the more those kids can take those tools into an anxiety provoking situation like an FSA test.
Right. What are some other things you would, that either you've seen or that you would want to share with parents in helping their kids with school stress and testing?
So, one of the things I would say as we're kind of wrapping up the end of the school year is this is a really good time to kind of evaluate what how your children have been doing this year, what additional support that they might need. And a lot of parents that I work with are a little bit overwhelmed and not really knowing how to navigate the process. So one of the major things that I do in working with the parents of the kids that I work with is helping them to understand the school is there to help support your child to have the best academic experience possible. So there are things like tiered intervention if your child is struggling with reading or math, understanding the difference between a 504 plan and an IEP, knowing when to request for psychological testing if your child is struggling with, reading or a learning disability. And so a lot of that parents are kind of finding out when they've found that their child has kind of fallen behind. And so sometimes being aware of it proactively can help you sort of know these are the different options so you can know how to navigate it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's great. And you were saying as they wrap up the school year, encouraging parents to assess with their child how they did, what areas they struggled in, what areas they may need help with and support with next year. Um,
Yes.
Perhaps I would also add, even if it's possible, especially for, well, perhaps for every age, but to assess that with the teachers. You know, they do the end of year evaluation usually in the elementary and middle school. Actually, not in middle school. In elementary, they do this, which is evaluating with the parents, like how their kids have done through the year and planning for next year. So, regarding that, what else would you say anything else in regards to interfacing with teachers and what parents should be asking from teachers, or yeah.
I would definitely say before going into that meeting, parents are entitled to be able to have the information in front of them before going into the meeting, knowing, how did the interventions go throughout the school year? Did their child respond positively? Is there still a deficit? The teachers by this point in the year will know these are some strategies that really helped your kid. This is where your kid struggled. This is sort of an intervention we tried that was really, help them sort of have a calm body and focus on what they were doing. And so getting those tips from the teacher of this year can help bridge the gap for informing the teacher for next year. This was my child's experience last year. This is kind of what they're needing. So a lot of times that can help a smoother transition into the next school year. And I also feel like parents having that information before going into an end of the year meeting can help them know what they'd like to ask for or what they'd like to get out of meeting with that school-based team.
Right. Yeah, I would like to direct anybody who's looking for support and has a child, adolescent, or teen struggling in school to reach out to Lindsey. She's great as a resource and a support to help parents in helping their kids who have challenges in the school system, and whether it be from stress or legitimate learning disabilities or whatever it is. We're here to help, and Lindsey's a great resource. And thanks so much for sharing some of your tips. I really appreciate that, and hopefully, people have gained some benefit from the listen.
My pleasure.
All right, well, have a good day, everybody.